Hello, and what is going on, you guys? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. Welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 part number 33. From the last video in part number 32 by having 3 rounds in the Porsche Cup by using the 911 GT3 Type 997 2009 turns out to become well challenging and fully achieved by having some tuning work with a performance point base by going up in about 650 pp. But it turns out correction and fully well improved is perfectly to be on every event. To be on the performance point restricted is going to be turns out come in handy. So right now in part number 33 we're about to go right back to the GT Cafe for taking on in the next menu book after collecting 3 kinds of Porsche cars by every year model. But perfect moment we'll have to go in to have Toyota Supra for menu book number 32. That's right, you guys. This menu book is for every Toyota fans who really love the Supra between the 1988 3.0 GT Turbo A, 97 Supra RC, and the 2020 GR Supra RZ is now listed to have 3 cars will be acquired. So let's get ready to go, and this time the next event will be participate to have a turbocharged opportunity will be at the get-go. For this menu, I'd like you to collect a few different Toyota Supras. While you do, I hope you can get a feel for the Supra history from the first model in 1988 to the GR Supra in 2020. I'll tell you more about them once you've got all 3 cars. Come see me when you're done and collect your reward. Sounds good? Now I'm about to go right in to have 3 Toyota Supra since I have the first vehicle is already checked to be highlighted. So let's have a good check on the scroll up. Race of Turbo Sportscars, here we come, and go with 3 Toyota Supra by having 3 different generation model from 1988 to 2020 is going to be a very good right place to continue on. Let's head over to the World Circuits and go participate by having a very good turbocharged opportunity. Ever since I have currently used with the Nissan GTR Nismo is about to go different to be on a full modification. So there might be some events in Europe and Asia, Oceania. Let's go have a look on Suzuka Circuit. So that might be quite good to have a 1997 Supra RC will be acquired in event number 2. So let's go back and head over to the European region for going in for having race number 1. We'll be doing a perfect guess to be at Autodromo de Interlagos. Well, I guess that might be the perfect place to go in, folks. Race number 1 is taking place in the Americas. Sounds like a very good highlighted checkpoint. We'll be going over to take the first event to get the 1988 Toyota Supra 3.0 GT Turbo A is now actually to be on the most finest opportunity get-go of all time. 5 laps, and looks like we got some good turbocharged vehicle will be featured by having a main rival cars for doing this very good restricted event by exactly 700 pp or less. Vroom vroom. Get ready to burn rubber in this PP restricted event for turbocharged vehicles. Sounds good, and I'm about to go right in and get everything set up. Now I have fully tuned on the Nissan GTR Nismo 2017 with the UDRS in Sportec livery, but it's gonna be quite perfect wide body to be at the go, so it will might have a good settings to be on the detail. Fully customized check. Onto the suspension. LSD check. ECU is stand correctly onto 100% to be on the restrictor. Ballast is going to be at 139. Positioning to be at -2. 360 to be on the fully customizable racing category. Braking onto the system to be slotted disc. Racing to be on the pads. Check. High RPM is now going up to have an anti-lag system will be set to strong. Alright, looks like All the parts are fully installed along with the bodywork as I need, so it's about to go faster to take a turbocharged racing competition to take race number 1. So I know this might have to turn out perfectly if I could probably have to go for the next video after doing a 1-hour video by doing a long waited upload. But it takes forever by a few hours to be on the video editor to be on the computer, but it takes time to be very patient. Of course, being patient is very important for myself if I could probably have to do some more activities to buy some time. Alright, Autodromo de Interlagos, here I come. 5 laps, we'll have to go for a single clip by having a checkpoint. So we got 3 drivers, Yamanaka, Derucci, and Rodriguez. I like cars with a tendency to oversteer. It's easier to bind grip at the limits of the rear tires than the front. That's why my Supra has been set up just the way I like it. Sure does, Yamanaka. Your Toyota Supra is fully turbocharged at the ready. Now for Derucci. Toyota has introduced all sorts of legendary cars to the world, including the AE86 and this A80 Supra. It's still very popular in the US. Yes indeed. Yes indeed, Derucci. Now for Rodriguez. If I could pick my 3 dream cars, in second place would be the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. The long nose that houses the inline 6 is its signature element, but the rear is pretty cool too. Sweet, looks like several Gran Turismo competitor is fully tuned and modified will be going in, folks, so let's do this and go faster to take a turbocharged race in 3rd place or higher to get another 1988 Toyota Supra is about to get ready to start. Let's come in on to the Senna S at turn number 1. Okay, very good. Gonna have to speed it up quickly. By the way, viewers, as you may ever saw this wide body modification on this Nissan GTR on my Twitter account, because it definitely might have to do a quick preparation before the start of the next video in a walkthrough. It takes a short amount of seconds, so I can probably have to get ready to go for a turbocharged event, as I ever saw to be going for some preparations to be on a turbocharged event to be on the next menu after Porsche. So here comes our Kokuban in the RX-7 FD. Gonna have to stay maintained and go for the hairpins by 2 amount. We're gonna have to hop back in onto the interior view. Okay, there's T. Yamanaka along with Morgano in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 6. Keep it patient and go for the speed clean. Final sector, here I come. Okay, it looks like Mikhail Isag is fully tuned with his Subaru Impreza. And same goes to Minasono as well. Coming in, and here's M. Rodriguez in the R34 Skyline. Lap number 1 clear. Here comes lap number 2. Looks like Igor Fraga is here in the Toyota Supra, racing around in his country of Brazil. Let's give UTRS and Insportec to have a good warm welcome before I'm about to coming in to catch up to Igor Fraga, folks. Here it comes, and there's Leonor in the R33 Skyline. That's the ticket. And there goes Derucci in the white Toyota Supra to have a stock version. It's all about having a turbocharged racing to have this most exclusive event. And here comes the main opponent, you guys. This one. the AMG Mercedes GTR 2017. Gonna have to catch up and go oversteer pressure to be on the maintain pace to catch up to this Mercedes-Benz. Keep it patient. I can't wait to get this car after this. If I could probably have to go on for doing some farming work and circuit experience to be well participate, continue on. Oh, I guess there might be a brand new update coming up by tomorrow. I hope everybody is feeling excited about 3 new cars, including the legendary Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak Edition. How excited is that to see how you guys can probably have to try this big beast out to be driving faster to be on the rally course. Sounds pretty excited because it's going to get much excellent for having this very good Pikes Peak rally car will be coming to Gran Turismo 7 with a fully interior view is going to be turns out realistic for the very first time after 25 years since Gran Turismo 2 first appearance. But it is going to be a 1998 version of the rally car with the number 6 on the wing spoiler. But I can't wait to see how it turns out to be well auctioned to be at the Legend Car dealership. Here's my fastest lap time, folks. 1 minute 43.885 seconds. Gonna have to stay on top in the lead and go clean technique to trust this Nissan GTR is going well cornering by the competition. Stay smoothly and go for the minus progression is gonna have to slow down and get back onto the short straightaway before hairpin number 3. Okay, slow down. Gonna have to be a very precise GT racer to master the course of Interlagos. Final sector, here I come. Lap number 3 gets closer to be at the end of the halfway mark. Full speed ahead, 5 minutes since the start of the race. I almost forgot about one thing before tomorrow's update until now, because a brand new racing course is going to be set in America. But that's right, you guys, Walkden's Glen is now coming in for the first time in GT7, just like Autodromo de Interlagos made its first debut in GT Sports. But I can't wait to see how 2 racing course layout is going to be so excellent, just like first time ever to be debut in Forza Motorsport series. But it's going to be a very good, excellent American racing course, will be exclusive to have GT3 race cars as well. Gonna have to keep it up and go focused to be on the course of the layout. But still takes position number 1 in the lead for myself, but Iko Braca is climbing up onto position number 3. Stay on it, go keep on racing for Team UDRS Insportec. Okay, Leonor, Deorucci, Yamanaka, and Rodriguez is now coming up to go forward to be on the main strategy if they could probably have to drive smart and go clean overtake by each other. They'll make sure they'll have to figure it out and drive smoothly. Passive and well competitive to the Gran Turismo competitors. Okay, update on my fastest lap time is a minute 43.145 seconds. Here comes the final lap. Gonna have to stay on track. Speed is the key. Practice is perfect for doing a preparation for doing a time trial. And here it is for the update for only a minute 42.623 seconds. Very nice. And I could probably have to do inside cornering when being patient at any time. Only in the daytime, but the rain is very challenging if I could probably have to trust myself between the driver and the car. Gonna have to believe it for only one driver to have one capability to master any well-adjusted parts in a single car. Gonna have to go concentrate. take that next turn, corner by corner, reached up onto the yellow highlights by the blimp. Very good technique, and go for hairpin number 2 and save it for the acceleration towards hairpin number 3. Alright, that should do the trick. Sector 2 clear in the final sector. Here I go. Now here comes my final stretch. Take that final corner and go faster to be on the upper hand leading advantage to beat my lap time. And successful and turbocharge complete. Well achieved and dominate in Interlagos for the Team UDRS Insportec of the Nissan GTR Nismo with a fully wide body modification. So good and all-wheel drive tastic to be well achieved to take the lead. Lap number 5 to be stopped at 1 minute 39.448 seconds. That's how Nissan GTR takes a good, incredible win by exactly in about 700 performance points to be on the limit base. So let's see the main outcome, and clean race bonus to be adding up by under 100,000 credits, 94,500 credits, and that makes a very good halfway mark to be on the driving marathon for today, folks. Here comes the Supra 3.0 GT Turbo A is now acquired and specified in the menu book. Let's go up, getting closer on to collector level 36 to be reached up on to number 37. Now this might have a thumbnail image to save a replay. Just give me one moment. Alright, there you go. Let's exit out and move on to the European regions for race number 2. Up to the B course layout of Circuit de Saint-Cloix, here I come. Next up is going to be a perfect time to have a highlight to be preview check. It looks like the 2020 GR Supra RZ is very good to be acquired. By the looks of it, if I could probably have to go for this video segment, it's all about generation model by the timeline. But I'll make sure that this might have a perfect idea to go forward to have year models between Toyota Supra, folks. But I'll have to save it for Circuit de Saint-Cloix later on. Up to Suzuka Circuit for race number 2. Get that 1997 Toyota Supra RZ is doing the same thing like Autodromo de Interlagos for only 5 laps. I'm all set and good to go. Let's keep on racing and go clean and take 5 laps around in Suzuka Circuit to go turbocharge. By having a difference about turbocharged vehicle will be exclusive for this event. But especially to have all kinds of Japanese manufacturer brands and other kinds of European brands to have turbocharged vehicle might be quite very eligible to participate. But I'm always going to have to look forward to have turbocharged vehicles to have classic and modern JDM cars is going to be quite turns out to become in handy. Let's proceed, and we got some 4 drivers on the interaction. Here's Igor Braca has to say, I raced an A80 Supra. Supras from this period look practically cool and are still popular today. When I lived in Kanazawa, my father drove a fully tuned Supra just like this. He sent it back on the ship when we returned to Brazil. Unfortunately, its whereabouts are still unknown. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the Toyota Supra because of the main outcome is very unknown. Okay, now here's Monacos for the next interaction. My favorite car is the Lancer Evolution. It's all four-wheel drive, and I really like the tech that allows power to distribute to each wheel independently. For this race, I'll be driving the Land Evo 6, the same car Tommy Mäkinen drove. Sounds good. Looks like Magano is a proud fan of Mitsubishi Lancer to drive this 6th generation. Now for Kokubun. I've tuned a rotary engine RX-7. I like racing, of course, but I also really love creating car liveries. Same for me, Kokubun. I also love to have all kinds of different car liveries, including UDRS Insportec variation, and also to have Total Drama fan art liveries as well. But I'm still really am a Total Drama artist, you guys. First time ever in Gran Turismo Sport and 7, so I'm about to go right in to have race number 2 to go on the way. Now for Mikhail Hisal's fourth interaction. The first and second corners at Suzuka are in the IA1 license test, for which I'm the instructor. Braking while turning is really tricky. I'll make sure I'll have to keep that good advice from Hisao, folks. I'll have to keep that good advice. So let's go, you guys. 5 laps, Will Go Master at Suzuka Circuit is going to be very tricky to go right in to be at turn 1 and 2 at the first corner. Gonna have to do the same thing when I'm using the Aston Martin DB11 to be as a license test instructor car. Piece of cake. Now for the S-turns, we'll be on the way. Okay, 2 Toyota Supras are in the way. Gonna have to be very patient and precise, gentle. Okay, Nico Braga is now in 15th place. Next up, Deruji will have to do the right side on the overtake. Sector 1 clear. Here comes the second sector to catch up on to Leonore. Maintain the pace and stay steady to hold at the ground. Danger curve I go. Break that next turn before at the end of sector 3 by underneath the bridge. Okay, very good. Here comes the hairpin on turn 10 and 11. Find my line and do some apply overtake in a single lap. Very good. I'm at position 10, so I could probably have to go with a spoon curve. Keep a good smooth line. Now here comes the straightaway in the end of sector 3 before take the out and out onto sector 4. Okay, looks like the rain has come. Talk about having a perfect moment, so I could probably have to be prepared for a patient race. Patience is the key when the rain comes in GT7. Always make sure to stay steady without losing any amount of grip on the wet surface. Now take that push and overtake Minasoto's 2014 Subaru WRX. Lap number 1 clear, and here comes lap number 2 by the standby call. We'll have to reach it up at the end. Okay, looks like it's going to get much rough out there. Halfway there on the wet surface in about under 40%. Gonna have to trust myself and the Nissan GTR Nismo. Be patient and find a good smooth technique. Hold it in. Looks like the rain stopped, but there might be some more weather coming in at any minute. I'll have to keep a good eyes out when using the weather radar in case. Okay, there might be some more racer coming in towards Sector 3. And here comes the Porsche 911 Turbo Type 930 1981. Okay, looks like they're all together, but just gonna have to stay in one car at a time by the overtake. Let's do this and kick it up on the high gear. Raindrops coming back. Now it's time to go for a patient standby stance. Okay, coming in. Wait for the best moment. Keep it together, you two. I'm coming right behind you. Okay, Sector 4. This is where the hard part comes. And I could probably have to take the Catskill Triangle before slowing down. Very good. Now, gonna have to stay down onto the first gear and go up onto gear number 2. Looks like Ikawaka just barely took 2 minutes 29.270 seconds until I'm about to beat my lap time on to lap number 3 to go forward. 2 minutes 27.760 seconds is now on the best patient run to be at the wet surface in Suzuka. Let's go proceed and catch up to have a Mercedes-Benz Amg Gtr is now entered to be in the lead. Let's stay on track and go patient to be on the wet surface of the track. Alright, finally get the hang of it. Hold it in. Just keep a good eye on the pressure. Danger curve is up ahead. Gonna take it. Have to feel when driving on the rain is gonna have to go with the flow technique. Being patient is very important when racing on the track is very more important for the competition. So now I'm gonna have to get closer to the 2017 AMG Mercedes GTR. Can probably have to go to be on the next turn in the number 12 spot. Just gonna have to keep holding in. Spoon curve is now coming up onto turn 13. Okay, looks like the rain stopped, but still plenty of wet surface on the track is going out. Okay, I expect too soon. I just barely distracted for myself, you guys. I know I'm just gonna have to try to be very more careful next time. Okay, that's definitely might be quite very loosened up. Okay, just gonna have to calm myself down. I know this is a very important race to be on a wet surface on this condition. Now, just gonna have to keep holding in. So now I'm on lap number 4. Update on the record is currently to be at 2 minutes 27.760 seconds. Somehow, the Mercedes AMG GTR 2017 is definitely the most strongest turbocharged car in this event. So I could probably have to go for a little offense and play defense. Driving skill strategy is definitely might be the only way we'll have to beat this Mercedes AMG GTR is now currently to be on the number 1 spot. But all-wheel drive takes that technique whenever it comes in to have some racing rain tires might be the best answer we'll have to do well fitted. Well, I know, I'm just almost barely lost my concentration ever since from the last lap on number 3. But the dry surface is gonna have to go a little bit decreased soon. Alright, let's take turn 10 and 11 at the hairpins. Let's see how I could probably have to find a good correction of the surface. But there might be some dry road is definitely might be the main advantage. I could probably have to make that good clear spot. Okay, there's only several splashes around. Gonna have to make my spot and follow the line. That's it. Looks like I just finally got my perfect move. But still barely tried to keep up. Well, I almost had that chance. Looks like that AMG GTR is a very good common opponent. But still, lap number 4 is going to get closer at the end. And here comes the final lap. Let's do this, and this time a battle of a supercar will have to go FR versus all-wheel drive to take action. That's the ticket. First place, here I come, and lap number 5 will take the podium finish, will be at the spot. "10 minutes since the start of the race, and I could probably have to go smoothly and find a good dry surface on each track." Alright, very good. Looks like just gonna have to stay on the dry position. Don't go anywhere onto the wet spots, because that will might have a disadvantage to be forced to slow down. It's all about go with the flow driving technique to be on the rain condition after having some bright and sunny day is going clear. Now for sector number 3, take that hairpin on turn 10 and 11. Fabulous work and doing much awesome running pace effort to stay on in turn 12. Now for turn number 13 and 14 at the spoon curve. Oh yeah, finally got it. I got this good correction in the bag. Now for the full stretch and take the final sector to be at the Catskill Triangle after the out and out. But thank goodness having this skill of a technique by using a DualShock 4 controller is fairly tried to learn a patient way to be driving on the rain to be on the after weather condition. Final stretch, here I come, and take that podium finish off I proceed. Very good, and first place for Team UTRS Insportec in the Nissan GTR Nismo is now at the number 1 podium spot. Awesome run, 2 minutes, 17.449 seconds in lap number 5 to be highlighted onto the purple mark. That might be takes plenty of patient work in the middle of the race on lap number 3 is going to get much patient to be on the wet surface. I'll make sure if I could probably have to keep in mind so I could probably have to do perfectly until ends up to be at 70,000 credits without having a clean race bonus. But it's okay. I know I just gonna have to try to be very more patient when racing on the rain is a very difficult challenge. But here comes the Toyota Supra 1997 model is already acquired and specified to be on the menu book. There you go. Car collector level up on to number 37. This one is added to the car index and also to have an added bonus for doing an instant replay for the thumbnail. There we go. Now just gonna have to take 2 tries left, so I could probably have to see some action. Okay, very good. Looks like all turbocharged race cars is doing well. Gonna have to wait for a perfect spotlight if I could probably have to pause for a new clip. Okay, might be quite average. Just give me one moment. Okay, let's exit out and save a replay before proceed on to race number 3. Will be at the B course layout in Circuit de Santa Clorix. I can't wait for this moment, you guys. The final Toyota Supra is going to be a 2020 version of the GR Supra. Since I have purchased a 2019 GR Supra RZ from the brand Central, but it might be a very perfect moment to have 6 Winx Club liveries that I have imported from GT Sport onto GT7. But clearly, if I could probably have to purchase more GR Supra RZ to have different kinds of liveries that needs to be imported. That's how what it is, because it takes many times for only a few cars. Will be going up by collecting more cars to be on the index by having a very good car collector achievement. On to race number 3 in Race of Turbo Sportscars. Will be at the B course layout in Circuit de Santa Clorix B. But it's definitely might be on the forward course direction, but it makes a perfect sense to have 2 straightaways to be at the perfect time. 4 laps might be a very good piece of cake and very much longer in about over 10 minutes. So here I come, folks. This 2020 GR Supra RZ is what I need for participate in Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup in the 2022 series. Talking about this very good, excellent Japanese modern sports car, I should probably have my UDRS Insportec to have 2 kinds of variation. One for the 2020 season and the other is the 2021 season. So let's go and proceed by having 3 GT competitors for the interaction. First up, Minasono is now on the list. I've switched from an Impreza to a WRX, but even through I've changed my car, I'm still Subaru through and through. I hope you get to take part in the rally someday. I hope it will, Minasono. I hope it will, because rally car is a very good proud moment for Subaru. Now for Mikhail himself, I've tuned my car to make it more competitive. Sounds good, Mikhail. Your Impreza is going to become very more competitive to be on the track. Now for Leonor. Today, at long last, I switched to a Nissan GTR. I've already won prizes at French Gran Turismo competition in the past, so I'll be trying my best to do the same here. Same for myself, Leonor. I could probably have to go faster and well driven to have a R35 GTR Nismo will go for the lead to be on the B course layout. Let's do this, you guys. Race number 3, turbocharged event, and go with the B course Circuit de Santa Clorix. We'll have to go faster to take the rush. Gonna have to brace myself because daytime is going to be a bright and sunny day moment out there. We're doing a turbocharged event. Alright, the Aruji is now being overtaken. Drop down onto last place. Rodriguez is now coming in, so I could probably have to take the inside and go for the break. Alright, looks like first sector clear. Here I come, and do the technique to be at Le Mans. Okay, Kokobun is in the way. Gonna have to be patient and make a good clear spot. There we go. Now for the right corner and take the bridge. Oh yeah, looks like the R35 GTR is doing a good smooth sailing to be at the straightaway. Hopefully, if Grand Valley Speedway will be coming to Gran Turismo 7, it's going to be a very different look of the environment. It's going to be set on different location around the world. Gonna have to be a little bit patient, slow down and make a good clear space and go overtake at Leonore in the R33 GTR Skyline. That's the ticket. Climbing up and go higher to have that next turn will go quicker to be on this curve. Here goes nothing. Slow down and take that corner as I go. There's G. Meccano in the Land Eagle 6. Gonna have to catch up along with Igor Fraga. Alright, finally got it. Now, for the final turn, it's going to be going smoothly to be at the 90-degree angle. Gonna have to get closer if I could probably have to do the perfect approach on the GR Yaris. Torque distribution is doing good. Now keep it up. Okay, gonna have to go early brake. Gonna have to go exercise caution and catch up to T. Yamanaka in Hirano. Drive with good heart and drive with good honor. That's how every turbocharged car makes a very good smooth advantage between any kinds of different automotive car brands between Japan, Europe, or American that has a turbocharged part to be aspiration. But here comes the AMG Mercedes GTS 2015. Looks like Yamanaka is going for the side-by-side and barely break through. Next sector I go and go for the early brake. Gonna have to stay on it. Nice wing spoiler. Alright. Very good on the outside cornering. Let's kick it up and go for the high gear. Okay, looks like early brake I go. Sharp turn by having a very wide turn of the corner might be very tricky. Okay, looks like I guess my tummy is doing alright. Just don't want to eat too much before going for doing a full racing competition without having a full stomach. Might have to do amount the portion. But I have to make sure that I won't get sick. Okay, almost there at the end of the halfway mark. Lap number 2 is coming to an end. Looks like many spectators are cheering for me to take on in lap number 3 I go. Update record 2 minutes 23.791 seconds. Alright. Well, that almost hit the spot. But still in good motion when racing on the track is definitely might have to do some well tied up to have some full boot groups. Okay, looks like D. Hirano in the Mercedes AMG GTS 2015 is coming in onto position 2. But now I could probably have to stay well defended if I could probably have to go faster and will improve for my lap time to be well achieved by doing a time trial during this part of race number 3. By having differences of 2019 and 2020 Toyota GR Supra RZ, my return out to have a good exact matching between two kinds of same models. Eventually, the 890 Supra is definitely might become very original since 2019 is barely to be used as an N300 category from Gran Turismo Sport. Until now, the 2020 GR Supra makes a fully adjusted changes to go up in about N400 category for the second season of the GR Supra RZ and its third season for the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. If I did my best out there, if I could probably have to try to keep up and go for the clean racing by the handling. It takes matter of respect, but I'm just really gonna have to be well ignored if somebody else might have to be more politely, so just remember you guys, I know this is how politely when after the race ends is very much important to be kindful and cheerful to have a wonderful race competition since from Gran Turismo Sport. Now for the final sector I go. Lap number 3 will get closer to be at the straightaway towards the final corner. So let's do this and kick it up. If I could probably have to participate in the Group 1 race challenge at the C course, I have to make sure to stay on the left side and try not to go any different direction until one racer comes out physically by coming out at the pits. That's how what happens because stay on the left side of the track is very more safer without getting caught in the contact between the middle or the right. That's how safety measures work during the competition for this part of the future walkthroughs later on. So here comes the final lap. Let's do this, and bring UDRS Insportec of the Nissan GTR Nismo will take home onto the podium finish. Let's take the bridge onto the straightaway and speed it up. No nitro, just average turbocharge is what every Gran Turismo player needs. Coming up and do the downhill right corner turn. Stay on track. Go with emotion and take that left side of the road. Almost there, you guys. I can win this race for event number 3. Oh yeah, I think I just remember back from 3rd season of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup in the GR Supra RZ 2020. But I just really don't want to hear any rude comments after the race over. So, just gonna have to be remembered, you guys. Just comment politely after the race ends. Here comes the final stretch, and take that good R35 GTR home to the finish line. That's when I like it. Update by update on my lap time is going faster and well approved. First place and doing a remarkable moment for having event number 3 on the Turbocharged event. Very good, and going achieved by under 10 minutes of time in 9 minutes 37.937 seconds by having a lap time to go faster in 2 minutes 22.219 seconds. Good game, you guys. Good turbocharged game for event number 3. 105 credits. Just like Tokyo Expressway, Central clockwise is doing much different to be on 4 laps. And here it comes. Good red color, and that means 2020 GR Supra RZ is now acquired and specified in the menu book. Pardon me. Alright, looks like I just got a 2020 GR Supra RZ is added to the car index. Just like the 2019 version, they have the same color. But luckily, it's going to get much prouder and excellent to have Supra cars from 1988, 97, and 2020. Now let's have a good action moment on the replay. Let's call this to have this perfect picture is going to have to go right onto the next corner after the 90-degree angle. Gets blurry. Well, that might be close enough. Just be patient, you guys. Okay, guess that might be close enough. So let's exit out and save the dirt replay for a shared moment. Wow, looks like I'm at 3.6 million credits. I should probably have to do a circuit experience on Asia Oceania later on in the next video. So now I have 3 Toyota Supra is already acquired to have one racetrack in every regions in Americas, Europe, and Asia Oceania. But this is going to be the perfect time after Pan American Championship. World Touring Car Championship is about to be coming in soon. So I had to get myself prepared for having a full video segment for only one event at a time. But here's the picture. Collection Supra complete. So very good to have a nice 3 Toyota Supra by every year model is going to be a very good American background to be on the family cafe. Congratulations, you got all 3 cars. This completes your Supra collection. Once you collect your rewards, I got some stories to tell you about these cars. Sounds good, Luca. All I ever want to hear about these stories about Toyota Supra is going to be a fine, historic moment made by Toyota. 4-star roulette ticket has acquired, and here is the story about 3 Toyota Supra in menu book number 32. The Toyota Supra has long been a favorite among Japanese sports car fans. Known for combining a powerful inline-6 engine with a rear-wheel drive layout. The car is more potent than its fellow Toyota stablemate, the 86. It also contains spiritual elements of the 2000 GT, the legendary Toyota sports car that first appeared in the 1960s. The Supra has a long association with motorsports. For example, the A70 Supra from 1986 took part in domestic touring car races in Japan. It also participates in international rally events. Its successor, the A80, made its debut in 1993. This car would go on to make waves for beyond its homeland, even appearing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The Supra gained an extra level of global fame when it was featured in the Fast and Furious movie franchise. Sounds good. Looks like everybody talks about Fast and Furious, and that means a 10-second car livery is doing a perfect spotlight for doing this first ever livery in GT7 and Sport itself. The A80 was discontinued in 2002, meaning that this GR Supra is the first Supra in 17 years. Developed in collaboration with BMW, it's entirely new Supra for a new generation. Sounds fantastic, Luca. Your stories about Toyota Supra is so remarkable and brilliant to have all kinds of popular moments, and also Fast and Furious for the A80 Supra as well. Very good and marvelous story. After menu book number 32, here comes the championship, you guys. World Touring Car 600. This might be a very good first step. We'll have to go World Car Racing before doing 700 and 800 to be titled as the World Touring Car Championship. But I'll have to make sure to get myself prepared because a whole lot of training and practice will be needed as well before taking on in this fine ever 8 championship event after Pan American Championship. I'm so very excited, so I should probably have to participate in the Super license later on in the future in the next video. But I'll make sure, if I could probably have to do part number 34 in the next video, we'll have to do some circuit experience on Asia Oceania. We'll have to do the first one to take a head start. It's gonna get a while because more currency credits and go up in about 100 million credits will have to go for the limitation ever since the update on economy. I'm so very excited about tomorrow's update by having 3 new cars, like 2 Suzuki cars and a Ford Classic car is going to be a very good, excellent opportunity by having Watkins Glen Racing Course will be on the way. Thank you for enjoying watching the video on Gran Turismo 7, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, and click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. I'll be seeing you guys next time on Gran Turismo 7, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.